you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing great. Do you want to introduce yourself? New face.
I'm Adam Puga. I've been working with the company for about just over 2 years.
And by the way, he's son of one of the co-founders of the company, my buddy. I call him brother from another mother. So that's how Dan and Adam is his son, and you have seen this creation for a long time.
Yeah, been following from the sidelines for the first 8 years.
8
7
to
to
10
8
years. Correct. Good.
And I'm Annalisa. I'm normally behind the camera, but I do content work, so write articles and record podcasts.
Annalisa, how long you have been with the company?
Not long. I'm a newbie, so I have been here about 2 months.
Great.
I think.
2 months, probably.
We'll go with 2 months.
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
So today we are going to talk about, there are various learning platforms we have in our company, right? And I was talking with Annalisa today morning, and I thought it's a great idea for us to talk about why we do what we do and how they are playing a role in our own personal growth and this company's growth and our clients' growth and this community's growth. There are many, many things which we do. So Adam, you have been with this company for the last 2 years. You have seen even before you joined this company to what you see today. Can you share some of your experiences about how we have been?
Yeah, so I think when I started, our U.S. employee base was, that was like the last of when it was a very small group. When I first started, I think it was 15 to 20 people.
Something in that range.
And now it's like almost 40 or something like that.
Yeah, I think I counted last week, we are more than 50 employees now, about 52 employees.
Yeah, so seeing it growing from the 15 to around 50 is kind of a crazy time to start, and just be in the midst of all the growth. And you get to see, one, how grounded the employees, most of like the first 15 are in the company, and what it stands for, and seeing the rest of the people come in and being able to join and being grounded. A lot of the people who do join go out and work on contracting, or on contracts, so they aren't always on site, but there's still that grounding to what the core values are, and it's cool to see from the 15 to 50, the core values haven't really changed, but have even gotten stronger, with that many people behind the values.
Totally. I can see that. And you definitely, you have been a product out of creation of those through learning platforms, and we'll talk more about that. But I'm glad you have been talking about how our company has grown up and the thing which we have done to keep and preserve our core values, right? Annalisa, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that was a perfect segue into kind of why we're here today. I think that maybe if you want to give a quick rundown about Landmark, and kind of what it is and why we do it, I think that would be good background knowledge for our audience.
Yeah, definitely. So I think let's talk about Landmark as a education platform for us. So Landmark Education is a third party. We are not associated in any capacity with it. I did that program in 2006, and what I found out of that program was, Annalisa and Adam has done that one twice, is that there are two kind of life I personally have been living. One life which I could experience before I did Landmark, and one I've been living after my Landmark forum. There are certain things happen in my life and perhaps in everyone's life which made me at that moment who I was, and I had no idea what made me who I was at that time. When I did my forum, I'm going to call it forum now going forward rather than Landmark Forum, I was just quite amazed the discovery I was able to make out of my life, and the kind of choices I got out of my life after I finished the forum. So I want to share about that first, Annalisa, that how it made a difference in my personal life.
Really quick, do you just want to share how you heard about the forum?
Yeah, so one of my friends, his name is Annalisa. He was the one, he invited me to one of they call it more of introductory sessions. And I went to that introductory session. I had no idea what that course was, how it worked, what it meant to me or to anyone else for that matter. And he asked me to join. I'm a crazy human being as always. And I said, why not? And that's how I got into the Landmark Forum.
Cool.
So you asked me how Landmark has been being a tool for our own company. I think once I got a lot of value out of it, when I see our employees who come on board, I relate myself through them. How I saw myself before Landmark Forum and then how I saw myself after Landmark Forum. And I personally believe that every human being should do this course. Mm-hmm. You can find it out about yourself by other means also too. But this course has given me so much, and that too particularly in 3 days and 1 evening. It's not possible at times to discover about yourself so quickly. So when every employee joins our company, whether on the US side or India side, I definitely made this as a mandatory for every employee to go through this program to get to know about themselves. So that's a quick intro about why Landmark and how it helps us.
Awesome. And I think when I was talking to Adam about his dad, one time he refers to his dad as either pre-Landmark Dan or post-Landmark Dan. So I think that goes to show also just the significance it has on people's life, and really it does make a difference. So I think if we maybe were to start getting into how it makes a difference and what you've seen as a leader, and then kind of going into my perspective as a new employee and Adam's as a
great
veteran.
So let me talk about, definitely, kind of that kind of better. So let me talk about what happens in Landmark Forum.
Awesome.
So I was sharing about what created Landmark, what created for me through Landmark. I think life is being given to you. So who you are at a particular time or given point of time based on your experiences of past as if you have gone through that living, but also more to do with your parents, your school, your society, your siblings, your friends. All of those experiences made you as who you are at any given point of time. So when you ended up in Landmark Forum, first time when I discovered that that's not who I am, that was given to me. Then once I clear up that past, I could able to create the future. It's very hard to explain what Landmark is. I can give in bits and pieces for someone to relate to it. Mm-hmm. For me, I had no idea who I was up until I finished my forum, because I really had no idea. Mm-hmm. I'll give you one example. I was a go-getter, result producer, achiever, achieve a lot of things up until 35 years of my age. But inside me, I was extremely angry man. I was extremely frustrated, angry man, quote unquote. And I had no idea that despite so many results I produced in my life, I'm still not happy. I was unhappy, unpeaceful guy. And when I did my Landmark Forum, I discovered that I was so angry at my father, who I never met. I lost my father when I was 2 years old. He passed away. I'm only man in my family. My 4 sisters and my mom never went to school. And I had no idea. Annalisa and Adam, you guys might share your own experiences, but for me, I was just like, when I finished my forum, I sat on a chair and I was literally kind of beating myself that, Jeet, you wasted your 35 years of your life, pretty much, in my mind. And so when I got over that experience called I lost my 35 years of life, I discovered in my life that there is probably 35 more years of life ahead of me. So rather than getting that experience of regretfulness and disappointment and, you know, whatever you want to call it, let's get excited about next 35 years of my life. And so that's how I've been since that moment. So pre-landmark, post-landmark. Pre-landmark, I had no idea. Post-landmark, I have so much idea about my life. So that's my experience about Landmark Forum.
And do you want to share how many people you've sent to Landmark since you've been?
Yeah, I lost the count,
Yeah.
but probably more than 1,500 people have gone through Landmark Forum out of my life directly, and then people through those who have done, who I know, and the branching out from there, so many people from their families and their friend circle.
All right, and Adam, do you want to kind of share your experience, what you thought going into it? Had you gone before working at In Time Tec since your dad?
I had gone, so I had gone with Jason Williams and my dad for our first session in LA, and I think one of the best ways to summarize kind of how the forum works is it helps you see, you know, who you've become by chance and by reaction, and it gives you an opportunity to discover who you want to be by choice.
Yeah.
I think that would probably be the best way to summarize what the forum does, because really you just ended up in that room by chance. You know, somebody invited you, you decided to show up, and you know, you leave feeling like you have a choice in the matter of your life.
I'll share a little bit about my experience as well. I know both of these guys know that I was not very excited to go. I didn't really know what it was or have any context about it, and I ended up going with a group of guys. Laura, another girl that works here, was supposed to go, and she ended up getting in an accident right before, so then I was going to be the only girl, and I was super worried about it. But I ended up going, and it has completely changed my life. I know that sounds cliche, but it kind of just gives you an option to let go of your past and be in control of your future and your present. I would say it is just a really exciting journey of self-discovery. And I do also want to ask both of you guys, as people that have been here for a while, why you think it is so important for all of the employees to have that base language, I guess, is how we kind of talk about it here, is until you go to Landmark, you don't speak the same language as us, not in an exclusive way, but just kind of being able to relate to each other and understand how we work. So if both of you want to...
Adam, do you want to say something about that?
Sure. I think a part of the language difference, like, one of the best ways would be is the words that we use have an exact definition that might not exactly match a dictionary definition, but a meaning that we have behind it, that before you go, you might not fully understand what we mean by the word. Like, integrity is probably the biggest example. Most people think of it as you know, just a value that's very loosely used.
Also, people think integrity is a morality.
Right.
Either you are a good guy or a bad guy if you don't have integrity. It's a character, ethics, people think like that. In our world, integrity means whole and complete. We use this example of a bicycle wheel. If one of the spoke is out, the integrity of the wheel is being compromised. And once you compromise something, then it will not perform to the fullest, right? What it is
It'll only get
designed.
worse until it's addressed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's a great example, Adam, using that as a word. Integrity means different for different people, but when it comes to our company, it means something else. Great one, yeah. Anything else you want to share about?
I think that's probably my best example I can think
Okay.
of, yeah.
Great. So for me, I think I wanted to talk about, it's a great segue, why Landmark Forum is important or necessary for every employee. Surely what Adam shared about, we have a vocabulary, we want people to follow that vocabulary. Along with that, I personally, as one of the founders, being taken on this journey called creating abundance. And in the 21st century, how do you create abundance for human beings? I think in a company, in the company structure, in this setup, we are not a 20th or 19th century machine-based company, machine-based organization. In those organizations, you can put a machine who produce results or create products, and when they create sound, when they create a cranky sound, you put in oil, and now you are done. In an information technology-based economy or a company like ours, human beings are the machine, quote unquote. They are producing products and services. And human beings are not really machines. They have emotions, they have feelings, they have aspirations. So how do you take care of them? Let's say, Adam, you are married, and Annalisa, you might have friends. I have my wife and kids. And let's just...
Thanks, Jeet.
I know.
You guys are married, I might have friends.
Yeah, you might have friends, or maybe quote unquote, I don't know what kind of friends you have, but probably boyfriend or normal friends, or maybe parents.
I'm
But-
parents.
Yes.
Love that.
Perhaps those. So if you look at from those point of views, you are at home, you had a fight with one of the friends, or with wife, or with my son, and when you come to a workplace, you cannot turn that off. How can you turn that off? You cannot. You need to, that spill over. But if you do not know how to take care of your emotions, feelings, if you do not have right structure, skills, tools, it becomes hard. And those feelings, those emotions will impact your productivity when you come to at work. So there are two parts of it about Landmark. One, discover yourself so that you can live in a peace and happiness. And I think there are three pieces. That's one, find your own peace and happiness. Second, find a normal vocabulary that we use in our company all the time. And having a nomenclature, having our words, because your words create the world around you, right? You cannot say, oh, I'm just using something loosely. No, there are certain words will give the experience to people around you. And the third one is, make sure you have a way and tools and skills to manage your own emotions and feelings, and create a structure which will keep you at the right frame of mind all the time. I think those are the three things I can tell why Landmark is critical and necessary for our company. In fact, Annalisa, I'm nowadays working even with our clients to send people out of their companies to go to finish the Landmark Forum, because that will allow us to have a better structure with them as well too.
Of course, and I know we need to start closing up soon, but one last thing I wanted to quickly get into, we heard your insight on that, but for me and Adam, if we just want to share kind of one of the main things that you got out of Landmark, I would say, like before you went and after you went, I can start and say that before I went to Landmark, every single thing that happened in my life, I would make meaning out of it. If someone looked at me a certain way or said something, it would, in my own brain, I would come up with this, what they think and why they think that. And I think that it was really important for me going to Landmark. One of the biggest things that I got out of it was, if it didn't happen, it didn't happen, and I can't be making meaning out of things that just because of my past that I put into my present. And I think that was really important for me. So since I've been back, I've kind of been focusing on just living in the present and taking things as they are and not making this big scenario and meaning out of something that was simply just a remark. So do you want to give your take on
So
that?
I want to say one thing, Annalisa, a quick one. Do you experience a state of freedom and then state of choice you have, irrespective of what's happening outside of you?
Absolutely. I feel like I am finally, after 21 years, in control of my feelings and in a conscious way. I feel like before Landmark, subconsciously, just everything was worse than normal. I would just have a pity party for myself if someone was super busy and I tried to talk to them and they're like, oh, I can't talk right now. It's like, oh, they don't like me. That's not true. It's simply that they're busy. And I think that you can hear that, but it doesn't really mean that much to you until you kind of go to Landmark and throughout the entire process. In day 2, everything starts coming together and you're like, oh, okay, so. And what you brought up an interesting point where you're like, I felt like I wasted so-and-so X amount of years of my life. When I went to Landmark, I was like, I can't imagine coming any later than I did. I was so happy that I went when I was 21 because I feel like I have so much more life to live that I would have, I guess, wasted.
Yeah, so profound, so insightful, Annalisa, because I sent my son. He was 13 when he did the first time, because they have a teens program. He has done when he was 18, like last year he did in San Francisco. That's the biggest gift, precious gift you can give to your own kids. And that's another reason why I send all the employees to Landmark, because truly that's a precious gift. And so I'm glad that you grab it and ran with it and brought to who you are. By the way, your face has started glowing more, and just so that you know. You look a lot happier, profound in many ways, calm, composed, collected, and definitely glowing. Right? Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
My experience it's fairly similar. I mean, we're not too far off in age, and I feel like there's a lot of things that happen in early 20s, and if you do have a mindset of, you know, everything that you've done up until Landmark has been a reaction, whether you've made the choice or not, you simply don't have time that you give yourself to react to something. Like you said, you go up to ask somebody to do something with you and they say they're busy, and your immediate thought and reaction is, oh, they don't like me, they don't have time for me. And, you know, going gives you, there's a split second that lets you choose how to react or how you want to react, versus making up a story like, you know, oh, they don't have time for me. You know, maybe they are just busy and I should just think about that. And just giving you time to make your own reaction versus just a split-second reaction is probably the biggest thing that I could say that I learned.
And I can see, Adam, just like what I was sharing about Annalisa, the kind of thoughtful human being you have become through this process. I can clearly see a leader is emerging out of you, Adam. I've seen you little kid, literally. Adam was in 7th grade when I met with you first time, to who you have become over the number of years working from many phases. And I was not easy on you either, Adam, right? And so my only insight for you, Adam, is that not only you got that in a split second you have a choice, but you have become immensely responsible and have taken your life in a different way. And I've seen the kind of contribution you have made in your own life, in your family's life, in your extended family's life, and this company's life. And I greatly appreciate that.
Thank you, Jeet.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, I think I just simply get present to only one thing, that I have two things on this planet. I have choices to make and time to spend. My parent did not ask me to bring me onto this planet. They chose, okay, let's have a Jeet here. And I will not be the one who is going to decide how long I live on this planet. It is someone else who will decide. So there are the two ends of the thing where I do not have any choice. Did not have a choice, and I will not have a choice. But between these 2 points, every second I have a choice. So what happened to you is not what happened to you. what you say about what happened to you is what you really say about what happened to you.
It's how you experience it.
How you experience this, and that's where the choice is. You say something to me, Adam, I can choose to respond to you in one way, or I can choose to respond to you in a different way. And no one can take away that choice out of me. No one. And that's the choice. So Landmark has given me that choice, and through that choice I am able to create a life for me and for many people around me. So that's how I see Landmark, and I made a choice to send all of our employees to Landmark Forum because I know they need to discover, not even find, they need to discover that choice for themselves. And that's how Landmark is going to continue to be a tool for our company. And I can see Annalisa, you share, Adam, you share, and many people. Jennifer is here. She got a lot of things out of that program for her also too. She's behind the camera right now. But I greatly appreciate you guys, what you got and what you are creating in this company right now.
We appreciate the opportunity
Yeah,
to go.
thank you, Jeet.
Wonderful. All right, that's a wrap.
That is a wrap.
So thank you very much, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us.